we're going to introduce legislation that would authorize $400 million to be spent to secure to build the presidential ballroom. Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff. There will be a Secret Service annex. And we've paid for it by offsetting it with custom fees. But the estimate is $332 million. We're going to do $400 million because I think it's probably going to take more. Private donations can be used, but I think they should be used for buying China and stuff like that. Underneath this ballroom will be infrastructure that is national security centric. The ballroom itself will avoid the dilemma of having to leave the White House grounds with future presidents and this president's to go downtown in a place that's less secure. President Trump said to me yesterday, we need the ballroom, not just for me, but for future presidents. He literally could have left his bedroom, walked out the back of the White House, and been at the ballroom. That's what needs to happen when you have 1,000 or 2,000 people gathered in today's environment. And the sooner we get the ballroom built, the more hardened it is, the better for the country. So I hope and pray that most people in the Senate after Saturday night will support this bill.
We are back in absurdity space after a month of not doing any episodes at all.
Yes.
I was traveling around. Christina was streaming.
Yeah.
Getting her life together. Living.
Yeah. Looks like, well, I don't know about living, but it looks like I might be getting a little bit of a break because my mom got her Social Security approved. Woohoo!
Nice.
My mom doesn't think she's gonna get $2,000. I'm like, Mom, that is like the minimum Social Security payment, and you paid like 30 plus years. That's rent, bills, and then some.
Yeah.
And then back pay. My mom told me, get all your new streaming stuff you want. I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's been a crazy month in the news.
It's been a crazy week. I mean, that ballroom stuff. That's like a month ago. Apparently, we got the Jim Crow South making a comeback.
Yeah. So you want to talk about that?
Yes. So the Supreme Court basically gutted the Voting Rights Act. What was left of it? Because people think that this was like a new thing when I think back in like 2013 they kind of started gutting the Voting Rights Act while Obama was still president, because I remember George Zimmerman got off for killing Trayvon. It was a really stressful week. From what it happened like in July, because we're getting to that time of the year where the Supreme Court makes like these decisions where it's like, oh, democracy can be saved, or like, oh fuck, what, really? Like it's gonna be like that. They do this every summer, basically.
Yeah, they have like a little period of time where they kind of send in kind of this like whatever, like decision after decision after decision in rapid pace, because it's about to be the summer and they don't want to release stuff during the summer.
No. So now it's the all like basically predominantly black districts in the South are going to be gone. Like Jim Clyburn, your days are numbered, my friend. And he made a deal with the GOP to when it came to redrawing South Carolina's maps, that he's like, can I just keep my district and you can like get rid of all the other ones that are, Democrat, black or whatever? And they were like, yeah, sure, cool. And now look,
you already see like Marsha Blackburn, right, in Tennessee, right? I urge the legislature to reconvene to redistrict another Republican seat, which they can straight up now just say, because you're allowed to do partisan seats. You're not allowed to do like based on like racial boundaries, which
they can't say it, but it is racial boundaries, but they can't flat out say it because the intention is there, obviously.
And you can still do it on racial boundaries if you can prove apparently in like a court of law that there's a need for it, which obviously is not going to apply to anything, because the standard in a state like Louisiana would be much too high, and those are the states that would have needed that. But you have straight up just saying like, we need to redistrict so that it's a map of just Republican. Like we need to gerrymander any Democratic seats out of existence.
What are majority Republican politicians look like?
Yeah. Well, so that's already kind of happening online, like a lot more. Like I can't imagine straight up saying that, like even even like a couple years ago. They would at least be like, oh, we need to redistrict because this is unfair to our constituents or something like that, right? Like I don't know if they would have said a Republican district in flat out terms.
I don't know why. It's not like the South is predominantly like blue to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's a terrifying thing. They also gutted the Voting Rights Act under George W. Bush back in like I want to say like 2005 or 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, but it's the fault of Bernie Bros in 2016. This is not something that conservatives have been working their asses off for the last 40 plus years. Apparently, this is just a new thing that they started caring about. Like ultra leftists and liberals need to get the fuck out of 2016. They have not evolved or changed as people politically.
I call the last decade the long 2016 because it feels like we're just having the same fucking
conversations every day, day in, day out. It's the same shit, different. I'm like, what is this, Groundhog Day?
But yeah, that's that's today's horrifying thing.
Yeah. Also remember, we gotta condemn Hassan Piker now. We gotta we're not getting healthcare, but as long as we can condemn Hassan Piker, we're good.
I thought it's the next step, right? If like anti-Israel or whatever, like anti-Zionist discourse keeps going on, the next the next thing that they're gonna start doing is they're gonna start making lists of constituents that have like said things online that are like critical of Israel. And they're just gonna start condemning these long lists of their own constituents. They're bringing in front of Congress, and then they're gonna have to all vote like, oh, here's a bunch of social media posts that people like random people have said.
They're doing it to James Comey. I mean, the 86-47 bullshit. I'm like, people were 86-46ing, when Biden was in office, but they're using
that's like
him
a
as
long
an
time
example.
Enemy. I'm talking about like I feel like they're gonna start doing it, like going down these long lists of just people that were just generally critical of Israel. They're going to start just condemning their own constituents. I feel like that's the next step on behalf of Israel. They're going to be like, oh, I don't like that. Like this person said, Netanyahu, blah, 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 blah. Like this person said, they're just going to be like, it was this person, this guy, this guy, this guy. And then they're all going to,
Yeah, where it's getting bad out there. It's getting bad out there. I mean, we know this. I mean, but like, hey, as long as we condemn, Hassan Piker, that's all that matters. I mean, this is really backfiring because more and more people know who he is. People who I like, who just because like they're normally Democratic voters I clean for, who watch like CNN and they're like, you stream on Twitch. Tell me about this Hassan kid, and I'm like,
it's kind of crazy to like, to make a congressional like thing about it. Like,
yeah. Like you were saying last night on the after party, like they're trying to put something because they're not releasing the autopsy. We all know why Kamala, lost and Democrats lost. It has to do with Gaza. But like they need someone to blame if Democrats do lose somehow. Because like another thing too, like a lot of people think, oh well, it's leftist fault that Kamala lost, and yet Gaza and all that. And I'm like, here's the thing though. I don't think the average voter cares about the genocide. They care about that their taxpayer dollars are going towards Israel's universal health care, public housing, transportation, college. Like that is why when you tell people like, hey, because of your tax dollars, you ain't getting that health care, but Israel is, that's where a lot of normie voters are like, oh, wait, what? And I think like that's probably was a concern.
I think also though, like I think people generally want to do good, and they see, they see a unpopular, I mean, whether or not they think of it as genocide in the Middle East, and they see our taxpayer dollars going to that, and then of course, like not going towards any kind of kitchen table issues. They're literally gutting they're gutting pretty much every program that actually helps people to like fuel either war or tax cuts or pretty much anything like that, right? Like so they see all of that, and I think I do think that people generally speaking want to do good, and when they see, and I think also freedom as a generalized concept, right? Like the fact that you can't say anything about Israel or you get condemned pretty much, or you can't say anything about Israel, or, it does break down. I think people like the First Amendment. They like the concept of the First Amendment. They like freedom of speech. And it's like, it goes right against that to have anything from like anti-BDS laws, or they see people literally going to court, like college students getting kicked out of college for stuff. And I don't think people, generally speaking, Americans like that.
No, they don't. And it's getting to a point where, people are gonna have to decide, like, is it worth gutting, the First Amendment? I mean, we kind of already have been like doing that for years now. And I mean, a lot of people always ask, like, why aren't you protesting Trump? I'm like, we tried protesting Democrats, and look what happened. You really think that protesting like, why do some of these liberals and Democrats think that if we were to call our Republican senators, they're going to listen to us? What the fuck am I supposed to do with Joe Wilson as my congressman and Lindsey Graham as my senator? You really think if I ask them about Gaza, Medicare, whatever, they're going to, no.
People have been protesting Trump, though. I mean, those like,
yes,
I don't think that necessarily like the No Kings protests are. I mean, it's pretty much just
it's a block party.
But
it's a block party.
I mean, it's a way to just kind of funnel, votes to the Democrats. Which I mean, whatever. But like, I don't think it's like the most effective means of combating Trump's agenda. Like, I think more the stuff that happened in Minneapolis, where it's like people actually on the streets. Like getting in the way of ICE aid, like that actually did work. Like the Trump administration at least backed off a bit from what they were doing in Minneapolis, but still people have been on the streets protesting Trump. It's just a more it's a more generalized thing rather than pro-Palestine
specific.
Yeah,
it's a bit of everything. I mean, like it's getting to the point where, I mean, with the whole No Kings thing, the reason why they did the most recent No Kings thing is what happened in like Minnesota. I'm like, you mean to tell me that events that happen in the new year, we're going to do a protest on a Saturday for 2 hours in April? Early April, late March? I'm like, no, man, real protests need to be spontaneous and disruptive. And we're not really getting that from Democrats. It has to be safe and no concessions, no demands, nothing.
I mean, it's a lot of the people behind the No Kings thing are like billionaires, like one of the Walton family members and stuff. But still, I mean, that is protests against what's happening. Like, it's people registering their discontent by going out into the streets. Like, so there are protests against Trump. But they're talking about, like, a lot of times when people are like, oh, well, I don't see leftists protesting against Trump. They're talking specifically about like the kind of campus activism that happened during the Biden administration, but it's kind of all been folded together into like this bigger anti-Trump / no.
I mean, people are throwing dildos at ICE detention centers for some reason. Like, that's what you liberals will do. Meanwhile, leftists are out there like destroying property and trying to get shit done. Like, so many like.
Did you see? I'm sure you did, but the.
My sister got her passport renewed just in time before she had to deal with this shit. She's like, my passport is good until that man's out.
Well, this is like gonna be a special. I guarantee you they're gonna charge for this. This is a very specific. You get like they're making 250,000 or something because it's like the 250th anniversary of America. They're making 250,000 Trump passports, and I guarantee
it ain't gonna hit. When it hits 200, it didn't hit. It's not. The funny thing is, people want to recreate like 1976. I'm like, nah. With Trump as president, it's not. Everyone's not gonna go crazy for the 250th birthday of America.
I mean, look, I don't know, because the thing about the bicentennial, right? America was like at its lowest, one of the lowest, points that it had really been.
Yeah, I remember watching. Yeah, I love the 70s. Talk about how crime-ridden New York was, and the blackouts, and the oil crisis, and all that. Like,
it was right after. I mean, it was right after both Watergate.
Yeah.
And Gerald Ford. This is right when it's 1976. It's the same year that Gerald Ford was at his lowest ever popularity. Jimmy Carter won. And so
was Gerald Ford ever popular?
I mean, like in the beginning, like in Nixon land, Rick Perlstein does a really good job, which he's doing another book. I'm so hyped for that. He's in the process of writing his fifth and final book. But they had like he really tracked through all of the bicentennial things where it's like, all of these Washington Post correspondents and like New York Times correspondents writing about like, is there really anything to celebrate this bicentennial? And of course the bicentennial goes by and they're all like, wow, it really was something to celebrate. I really feel patriotic. So I do think that there's like a snapback to that generalized feeling when these things happen. Of course, I think that we had a more cohesive society even in 1976. But
also, we got better like American patriotic songs this night. We're gonna have, ain't that America? It's gonna be lit. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's gonna be fun. I don't know. Oh my God, people are gonna go off with the fireworks galore.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I think that there's a snapback to that feeling of like general patriotism that happens, but I don't know. I mean,
for like a few hours,
I do think that Americans have a resilient sense of their own exceptionalism, right? Like, even like I was thinking about this with I was watching the 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 newsroom that I posted this, but there's like
the clip where it's like,
writes,
oh,
it says
how-
speech like America isn't the greatest country in the world, but the two acceptable frames of that are America isn't the greatest country in the world now, but it used to be, and America
When?
is the greatest country in the world. And
it was when FDR was president, like 5-10 times. Like we know that. Like the American dream was, the marginal tax rate was much higher. The baby boom, post World War II. But then, we had to, be fear mongering about communism. And
well, I'm just saying, I think that there's a I don't know. I think those are the two like really just acceptable frames of reference for most American media, for most American popular culture, and by default, right, for American exceptionalism as like an ideology. It's like you either have, make America great again, like America used to be great, but now it's not great anymore, or you have America is great. And I don't think that there isn't like a third lane. So I do think that people's natural inclination,
America's meh.
I think like people's natural inclination when it comes to something like celebrating the bicentennial and a half is
try. Let me be here when thank you, we do our best, obviously. Sandee, hello. Also too, like wait till it's like 300 years and then get back to me. I'm gonna be in my 80s.
I'm thinking about
we shall see.
Think about Nashville. Like, we must be doing something right the last 200 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Good movie. But that does capture like the feeling of malaise and the feeling of like a generalized kind of violence and fear at the same time as kind of this cynical, the cynicism, but also the kind of snapback to patriotism kind of that happened within that.
Yeah.
I don't think because he's only making 250,000. I don't think that if you get your passport in that time period, you're necessarily like, I guarantee you, because it's Trump, he's gonna be like, we're gonna find out that
you're gonna have to pay like $500. It's like the gold $1 million like immigration card or whatever the hell did he get to Nicki Minaj. Like I'm like, that
apparently
thing ain't
only
real.
only one person has, and I think that one person was Nicki Minaj.
It is Nicki Minaj. Yeah. Oh God.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that it's I'm not saying that this is the same like thing as 1976. I'm just saying that like I just think of that sense of like like cultural resilience when it comes to this feeling of like patriotic celebration or like nationalism or like American exceptionalism. Like I think generally speaking, like a lot of people still snap back to it when the time comes, when they're prompted to.
We saw that kind of like after 9/11 a little bit, like something major, or like when Osama bin Laden got killed. Oh man, people were like dancing in the streets and jumping up and down and going, yeah.
It's gonna get harder and harder to leave the country just because it's like they're already. It
costs $30,000 to relocate and start anew in another country, even if it's like a social like if everyone's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to do a crime in Denmark and spend the rest of my life in a Danish prison. Have you seen those? They look like luxury retreats. I just want to be by and do misdemeanors that can maybe land me in a Danish prison.
There's this one like famous Finnish prison where it looks like a summer camp. And you go there, like each room in this prison is like, oh, you get to learn woodworking, you get to learn
because I mean, like over there they believe in like rehabilitation. Is over here we don't do that. We don't think we keep people in the system here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even going to like even just the concept of going to another country to travel is going to become a lot harder, I think, because it's like I mean, number one, well, I'm saying after, because number one, I mean, like they're already starting. The European Union is already making it like hard, like they're not including American like Shenzhen zone or whatever, like that they're coming up with, but also just like the amount of fuel that it takes to plane, like the plane tickets are going to go up because they have to reduce the amount of planes. So like the plane, like I don't know, like airline companies are going to have to start charging more for airline tickets because they could do less planes because they don't feel safe with the Iran war happening. Like I don't know.
It's gonna be May, by the way.
America's bicentennial was a classic fake it till you make it. Well, because people in 1976, right? Like Jimmy Carter won, and people were really enthusiastic for that short period of time about Carter, and then Carter kind of just go further and further down because every crisis he was, he was kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. He had no like ideology and he had no natural base, which was the beginning of that for Democrats. And
also when they started embracing neoliberalism and like abandoning FDR's, I keep telling people this. I'm like, Democrats would do well if they would finally just nail in the coffin, and adapt the FDR New Deal. I'm like, people don't remember. I'm like, when people were thriving when FDR's New Deal policies, and then slowly but surely we started chipping away at that. Party switch, Southern strategy, Lee Atwater, blah, blah, blah. But like, it goes to show that this didn't happen like overnight. This was something that they really thought that if we appeal even back then to the center, we would do so much better. And it's like, no, moderate voters will still vote for Republicans because they're afraid to admit that they are Republican MAGA people. They just say, I'm just an economic, lower taxes. No, they're still very much, diet Republicans are going to always vote Republicans.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner and Charlie Daniels did support Carter in 76. Also, Carter was like best friends with the Allman Brothers.
So hey, remember his what was his brother named? Billy Beer? Yeah.
That guy was drunk all the time.
Yes, I was another thing when I think I love the 70s. They talked about how drunk that man was, and it's funny because look at all of Jimmy Carter's siblings; they all died of like pancreatic cancer, and he outlived them all by like 50 plus years. And it's like, damn.
Well, he had the one sister. His one sister was like an evangelical nut job that didn't support him at all, and they would go to her for comments because she was one of those evangelical preacher kind of people. He was a born again Christian too. People forget that. He was an evangelical, but he had like an evangelical sister, and then
crazy, an alcoholic brother.
Yeah, an alcoholic brother. But his brother got in a lot of trouble because he didn't register for like the FARA kind of thing at the time, and he took a bunch of money from Gaddafi. He had like these Libyan connections, so people kept being like, well, he would show up and be like, he would try to lobby for the government of Gaddafi in Libya.
Yeah, I think it's funny when people are like, oh, Jimmy Carter. I'm like, Iran-Contra affair, Reagan. I'm like, Reagan's the reason why we have crack in this country. Like legit, like tied to the, like when you try to explain the Iran-Contra affair to like the average person, they're like, you need like a board with pins and shit because it's like strings everywhere. It's like, how the hell does Iran have anything to do with South American, like rebel group, whatever? And I'm like, oh, it's a long story.
Yeah, but I love the Reagan line where he's like, in my heart, I believe that I didn't do anything wrong, but in my brain, I know I did. And it's like
that's the classic Reagan line. I mean, this is also the same guy whose wife, they use astrology.
Are they making Nancy Reagan? They're making like a Nancy Reagan movie, or maybe that was a meme. I thought.
Oh, they got called Throat Goat, making a porn parody. I would see it. I know exactly who I would cast because I know people who told. Anyway, but yeah, it is interesting how Jimmy Carter kind of invented the post-presidency because a lot of people are like, oh, Jimmy Carter's, but they're like, he cured the guinea worm. He did Habitat for Humanity, building houses. Like he kind of was like, I had one term, couldn't do a whole lot, but now I'm actually making real change. But the problem is that Obama has like a podcast and like they're not doing. I mean, Clinton's got the Clinton Global Initiative, which that has people who do things, but it's like he was out there actually physically building houses with Rosalind and stuff like that.
I like that they let Ghislaine Maxwell onto one of the Clinton Global Initiative panels on like
was it on human sex trafficking?
No, it'd be funnier, but it was something that she wasn't even like even a little qualified to talk about. It was like ocean, something to do with the ocean, which I guess her dad drowned, so I guess she is someone drowned. Like drowned.
Did you see that video of Cardi B getting like a Jimmy Carter book from his daughter signed personally by like one of the last like things that was signed by him, and she's like, I got Jimmy Carter's signature, and everyone's like, what's her deal? I'm like, Cardi B is probably the smartest person when it comes to politics, believe it or not. Y'all just think because the way she talks, she's not, but she's smart. Like every teacher in history is like her history government teacher, like, oh my gosh, she always got A's. She did so well in class. You could talk to her about like taxes and stuff, and it's like,
I wish she didn't do that to her face though.
I know. Megan Thee Stallion, don't be doing shit to your face either, girl.
I
Because
don't
it's
know.
like
Yeah.
it's like that, and it's like,
I've
girl,
always
you're my.
I've always had a soft spot for Cardi B because like her
too.
original producer or whatever, like Partisan Fontaine that dated Megan Thee Stallion was from here. He's like,
Yeah.
so they and he was originally like Cardi B's like they would write songs together or whatever, like they would collaborate, and he would like do her music videos, and they have parades in like Newburgh, like, you know, down where I live, and he like for a while, at least when he was like really popping off, he would like he got to lead the parade and be there like whatever.
Yeah.
Like
I bet like a lot of people like Cardi B loves Eleanor Roosevelt, and I'm like, I bet she probably freaked out when she found out that October 11th is also Eleanor Roosevelt's birthday, because that's mine and Cardi's and Eleanor Roosevelt's birthday as well.
nice. I didn't know they had the same birthday.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Tim Heidecker Alex Jones thing, but I wanted to play.
Alex Jones, he's doing all right, right? He's doing okay. He's handling this very well, very normal.
Wait, I wanted to play my favorite. This is the best Tim Heidecker bit.
Does anybody here have a question?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
What is it?
When are you gonna get back to doing the fucking good shit? Simple question.
You're here.
Yeah.
You got a ticket, so you're a fan. What are you talking about? The good.
I was a fan. Not much of a fan anymore, and I got the tickets just to do this, what I'm doing now.
Well, all right. So what? You don't like office hours? You don't like that? I'm not doing what?
I don't like office hours at all. Go back to the old shit. This seems like a cash grab.
It's not a cash grab. This is a charity event. They were doing this for Selah, which for we'll get to that later.
It's a cash grab, Tim.
No, so what do you like? You like Tim and Eric? That's your thing? Like awesome shows? That's what you want me to be doing?
I don't like Tim and Eric. Older than that. Tim and Eric seems like a cash grab.
No, it's not a cash grab.
Tom goes.
What do you
Tim
mean?
and Eric's a cash grab.
Wait.
It's mainstream. It's for jocks.
So
right?
So wait.
This guy's greedy.
Wait. You don't like office hours. You don't care for my music, I suppose?
No. Cash grab.
What the fuck do you even like about me? Like, what is it?
Your old stuff.
What?
Back when you were like, fuck you, man. That when you were like, fuck you.
Is this the other Tim from Allentown? I went to like grade school with you.
Yeah, we went to grade school together. I'm Tim from Allentown. The other Tim L.
So what do you want? What do you want me to do? Like go fucking hang around the playground? What is it?
That's when you were funniest on the playground. That's when you were like, fuck you.
I guess, but I've moved on from that, man. I don't know.
You moved on to try and get the moolah, Hollywood money.
I moved on from doing shit when I was 7 years old, asshole.
Asshole, that's funny. I like that.
Right.
That's like what you did back then. Come on, man. Look at me.
I know, I am, yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah,
I'm the older stuff and not this kind of stuff.
All right.
Please.
I'll get yourself a drink on the house, all right? I apologize.
Are you being serious? I can have a free drink.
Yeah. Help yourself.
All right, thanks, Tim.
That's how people were acting when he was like he's like, I'm gonna take over for Alex Jones.
I mean, honestly, it took a long time to get here, but I'm glad that Alex Jones is like bankrupt and can't have InfoWars anymore. It's no, like a lot of people don't understand, like, oh, he just didn't think the shooting didn't happen. I'm like, it's not just that, it's that the parents can't even live near the graves of their dead children.
Yeah, people were like really harassing the fuck out of them.
Yeah, like, so I'm sorry, but the parents, getting that win, and Tim Heidecker saying, yo, I'm going to do InfoWars, make it something good, funny, positive, love it. It took a while. It just took a while.
It's just funny to like do something that's so clearly meant to trigger people and watch them get that triggered over it. Like they made the rainbow InfoWars thing, and I saw people, like, I don't know, like I guess InfoWars fans, like whatever alcoholics and junkies that Alex Jones has left watching him, that were just like, can you believe the rainbow flag? It's like, really, you guys are that. You could troll like you could add that much of trolling, and then watching Alex Jones watch Tim and Eric skits as if they were like real. As if like stuff they saw on TV, it was like actually stuff that they were like. He was just watching like a wall of fucking Tim and Eric sketches, and it's like already designed to be like absurdist as fuck. Like that's the entire movement, like TV movement that they were working with.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that like Alex Jones' whole excuse, of course, like I'm playing a character. I'm like, are you though? Are you? That was his whole excuse. He really thought he could get out of that lawsuit by just saying I'm playing a character. I'm like, then change your character's name or whatever, or just
Playing
do
Alex Jones. Well, everyone already knew, like, kind of knew that all these guys are playing a character, right? Like,
yeah,
like, but their character obviously, number one, bleeds into like completely bleeds
reality.
into who they are.
It,
But
yeah,
on
it
top of
becomes
that,
real, and then they don't realize, oh crap, I'm actually causing real harm, and I'm getting sued out of oblivion and
I think
money.
they do realize that. I think people just want to watch the world burn, or there are people
Yeah.
that just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah. It's like when a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, Tucker Carlson's so sorry." I'm like, he ain't putting in the work though about like how he helped Trump or supported Trump or whatever. He does this every few years. He does like a change of whatever, but like because he used to do all these like shows with Rachel Maddow and stuff like that. But it's like at least with like the Ashley St. Clair, like she's out here like actually like I apologize for being anti-trans. I here's like she actually is like making fun of like right wingers and like actually like adopting somewhat like left-leaning ish policies. I'm like, she's actually putting the work in. I can say like she's authentic, but like maybe with Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, they know that MAGA does die with Trump, and there is no Democrats don't have a plan for when Republicans do shit like what SCOTUS is doing clearly, but also Republicans don't have a plan for when Trump is gone. Like how are they gonna cling on to politics and to power when Trump is gone because they made MAGA all about him. And it can't like JD Vance does not have the sauce to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the Tucker Carlson thing, right? Is the
Yeah.
he's just gonna endorse JD Vance, who's like his friend, and like he's friends with a lot of these guys. But you already see like it's people close to JD Vance, like if not JD himself, that have come out every single time and gone, oh, it was JD Vance that was trying to get Trump not to do the Iran war. Like he spoke up and like he ultimately couldn't get Trump not to do it because he doesn't have that power, but he was the highest voice of the of that thing. And you can already see that they know how unpopular it is, and they're trying to set JD Vance up. At the same time, there's a lot of people that are trying to set on the other side of it, right? Like the more pro-Israel side, especially trying to set Marco Rubio up to be the new candidate. So it's gonna.
But even he's sauceless too. Like people will never remember. People are never gonna forget that. Like he's such a little, little Marco, little wimp. Like there's no one that has like the bully. And even though Trump seems very old and wood, he still has some type of charisma and personality to him.
He said today about his NASA. He was like that NASA guy with the huge ears, and he was like, oh, he can hear everything in his super hearing, and the guy's ears like this big.
Yeah, it's fine. But like,
it's weird to see after like 8 years, I guess or I mean now it's like well I guess 10 years since the Trump phenomenon began, but like 6 years of Trump's leadership and seeing how it is, like it's weird to have like certain people pivot to saying that Trump's like the people that are like very pro, because I could see JD Vance at least got to be the guy that's like talking to Zelensky, that's like, did she even apologize and doing like I mean like it's an act. I think JD Vance is a little pipsqueak bore, but like it is like it's still at least he got to do that kind of position towards somebody on the world stage, right? Like versus somebody like Marco, who really feels like he's completely straight laced with all of this stuff, and it's like it's weird to see after all of that time of MAGA like celebrating the fact that it's Trump's kind of boorishness, it's Trump's over the top like bullying that really gets them excited. It's weird to imagine somebody like Marco Rubio getting them excited to the same degree.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people are like, why are all these Republicans, dropping like flies out of the House? That's also part of the reason why, they know the midterms don't look bad, so that's why they're really forcing the redistricting. Florida's doing it, you mentioned Tennessee, so that's like the only way Republicans could probably cling to the House is if they do all these, gaining, stealing all these seats, whatever seats are left for Democrats in the South. But it's like they're leaving because they know they don't want to be held accountable if Democrats dare go after Republicans for all the shit they've done under Trump. They're fine, ain't gonna happen. But also too, they know like I have no political career. I've clung to Trump. I can't do this anymore. I'm out. Because they know again, who's gonna take over MAGA? No one.
Yeah.
We're gonna be at a point where the Democratic Party has to make a decision. They clearly have an identity crisis, and so will the Republicans once Trump is gone. And we're gonna be caught in the middle.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull something up.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fascinating to see, what happens with the midterms, because it's just the only way Republicans get away with anything is they have to play dirty. They never play fair; they have to play dirty, and I want Democrats to do the same. And there are ways to play dirty that are legal. Oh boy.
Marco on to refute President Obama's speech. Do you remember that catastrophe?
Oh boy.
He's like this, and we were, I need water. Help me. I need water. Help. And this is on live television. This total joke artist.
You drink with both hands.
It's Rubio.
Man, look how young Trump looks there, and you could definitely see the line of demarcation.
Yeah.
Of, the Dream Man Boost Foundation they put on him and the bronzer. He
You
has
can
a
also see how much
2006 makeup. I love that.
They've amped him up a little bit too, because it's like he looks so much fatter there.
I know. Actually, no. Seeing that one photo of him sitting down for the 60 minutes interview, I'm like, dude's got a fucking great ass. Like,
he's I don't know. It seems like, well, he has the Ozempic thing where it's like you're off it for a little bit, you get the weight back, and then on it the weight
gotta
disappears.
stay.
But it's like, I don't know, but like you see him there, it's like a full, there's a fullness to him that I feel like doesn't really exist. But that's also getting older, I guess. I mean, he's like 80 years old, which is like the whole thing about like it's crazy after this assassination attempt that nobody actually fucking
imagine getting radicalized by K-Hive.
But like after that assassination attempt, right? Like you have to everyone has to pretend in the media that like jokes about Trump dying soon are like assassination jokes and not just like this is an 80-year-old man.
This is the same dude who was like, good riddance, Rob Reiner, awesome that Robert Mueller's dead. Like, come on. Like, I just get so tired of we have to be nice to the man who won't shut the fuck up about being cruel to other people. Remember the Obama monkey video? Like, that's who we need to be like, oh, we can't be making jokes about him. Like, Donald Trump was the butt of jokes before he was president for many decades on late night, even death jokes. Like, I do not understand why we need to be nice to this man when he's not going to be nice to us.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that now it's like shaming. It's like, they're like, oh, well, people keep trying to assassinate him. The thing I always find like funny about it is like, they'll never admit that like, maybe the policies are making people angry, and that amount of anger, like it has to be like the rhetoric, right? Like it's unfair rhetoric, or it has to be,
he's a pedophile.
Like the coverage of him is somehow doing it. Like the coverage is radicalizing people. They'll never admit that it's the policy, the policies that are fucking radicalizing people against Trump specifically, right? Like I mean, we're at war with Iran now. It's like, like I don't know. There's a whole list of fucking things. Cuts to Medicaid, cuts to like after the midterms, they're gonna 90% of the people or something on like 90% of the funding is gonna dry up for tax cuts that aren't gonna help like the average person. Like, do they not think that the anger towards the government isn't gonna grow exponentially at that point? It's just we have to pretend that it's it's the rhetoric that's radicalizing people. It has nothing to do with the policies.
Or it could be insane K-Hivers and Blue Sky. We call him the Blue Sky Killer now. I mean, just looking at the guy's like social media, I'm like, I honestly don't think Hassan Piker could like get someone to do anything. But it's just funny that they're blaming him for all the rhetoric, and it's like, nah, man, that dude hated Hassan too. I mean, he was literally like looking at his tweets and shit. He was engaging with people that I had spats with, and I'm like, hey, is this not the guy trying to kill Trump? What were you doing, huh?
Well, they had like literally on the he was on the train. He was on the train going to literally fucking take guns and run like jump over the security fence. And he's retweeting and like reposting people's things about like that micro looting conversation and how like that's antisocial behavior. And it's like, yeah, but fucking trying to kill the whole cabinet is not antisocial.
Except for Kash Patel, the one who's about to get fired, probably. That I'm like. Also, too, a lot of people think that we need to build the ballroom. I'm like, why not make a staged assassination attempt about Iran. Also, too, the ballroom wouldn't be big enough to fill up for the White House Correspondents' Dinner anyway, from what I've heard.
They wouldn't. No, it's that the White House Correspondents' Dinner has nothing to do with the White House. It's a press association thing, so they couldn't actually host it at the White House. It would have to still be hosted at a ballroom. But look, I love that this guy definitely thought he was going to end up looking like Luigi Mangione or something, or like
man.
Like look at it. Just
Liberals, you own this guy, not us. I'm just saying. At least Luigi's.
Also, I like how the judge looks like Nick Fuentes in this.
Oh my god, he kind of does.
But I just like the idea that you're like, I'm gonna go in there with a gun, I'm gonna jump over the thing, it's gonna be so fucking cool, I'm gonna shoot it I'm gonna get the cabinet down, and you jump over the thing, don't hit a single person, Secret Service takes you out, like takes you down or whatever, right? And then the next day you're in court and you look like that, like this. Someone draws you
liberal,
like
centrist, y'all. I mean, our first radical centrist. You know, we gotta do something about the radical centrists. You know, they've
all been like. I mean, Luigi Mangione was a radical centrist, like essentially, right? Like he wrote Patrick Bet David a letter from prison.
Yeah.
Like I mean, we don't really know. I guess we don't really know much about Thomas Crooks. Like we don't really, because he really.
Again, I feel like that one was staged because cartilage does not grow back. Again watching.
It is kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy that he has like a full ear. Yeah.
Because like when Mike Tyson bit off Evander Holyfield's that shit didn't grow back.
I bet Brooklyn Dad could do it.
He has the money to do it because he does actually get paid by.
That's probably why he hasn't done it.
Yeah. But like, I mean, like a lot of people are like, well, what about the firefighter? I'm like, they knew to kill a man who was known for being a hero who would have died on his job anyway. So, you know, sacrificing an actual hero makes people not think it was staged. That's the thing. I mean, come again. I don't know. Like, it's just kind of crazy that people don't think some of this shit is staged when Trump needs. It doesn't even. No one even cares about this one. Like, okay, whatever. It's been 3 times a charm. Like, whatever.
Yeah, people aren't live on this space on Thursday. That's the day that people aren't
want to go. Never mind.
Yeah, I just like. It is kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy that, you know, I feel like every time Trump the assassination stuff happens, right? Like you could use that power to really do anything you want, and it's insane that it's the ballroom out of everything. Like,
and also he doesn't seem like that like fazed by it either. Like there's like a photo of him like standing behind the curtain, just staring at everyone unfolding. And even when he hears the shots, he's smirking at Melania. She's like, "Oh my God, not again." Who's it gonna be this time?
I don't know. Even if you're the target of the assassination, right? Like, it's like the 3rd time it happened. Like, how many times? You know, like you have to. Each time you don't die, you probably, because I do think that Trump probably does believe that, you know, that his like the first assassination or something, like if it wasn't staged, like he definitely does believe that, you know, that like God saved him for some great purpose.
Oh my God.
And
I mean, also it's funny when Republicans like Democrats never got assassinated. I'm like, y'all were making jokes about the Minnesota Democrats last year. And not only that, but probably the Democrat who probably had the worst assassination like congressman was Leo Ryan, because with Jonestown, he was actually trying to do something good.
Yeah, it was Disco Brian. I forgot about him. I just think, I don't know. I think
he would do it.
Obama they tried to take Obama out like 10 times.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it always got
foiled. He didn't also make a big deal about people trying to kill him like Trump is. And that's why it's like, oh, I didn't know it was like 11 times.
But it's like a different dynamic. Like you know, the first black, like you as the first black president, like I wouldn't have made a big deal about it. Well, if I was,
okay, Forrest, you're white, you would.
No, but as like the first, like, you know, you don't really want to make a big deal out of it as the first black president, because if you make a big deal out of it, you're kind of asking.
Oh, you want to be the victim.
Yeah, and but you're also asking for more people to have that thought of like, you know, wanting to do it. Like I feel like there was a lot of people that were like, oh, you know, if Obama wins in 2008, like they're just going to take him out. And it's
I mean, when he was actually walking down, a lot of people thought something was going to happen when he and Michelle were walking, like they got out of the car and were walking and waving at people, and everyone's like, I remember watching that in my high school. I was even like, oh, this is it. And then I'm like, oh, phew, phew, whoo, we don't have to worry.
I feel
We're
like
good.
one of the things is that you're not, I don't think he was incentivized to make a big deal out of it, because it's just going to inspire more copycat people to try to.
Obama just seems like, regardless of the war, he just seems like a chill, relaxed guy. Like, we don't hear stories of Obama like snapping or losing it on people. Like, at least I don't think, because I'm like, it's because he was competent and had people who were competent around him.
When I was watching the John Favreau what do you call it, Adam Friedland thing, when he had the guy from Pod Save America or whatever, there was a story about Obama absolutely losing it on him.
On John Favreau?
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense to lose it on John Favreau, right? Like, I mean,
you said Obama like screamed at him.
Yeah.
There was, like, because I guess when he in 2004, when he was supposed to give the DNC speech or whatever, John Favreau, like, I guess John Kerry wanted to lift a line out of Obama's speech for his acceptance speech, and John Favreau had to be the one that told Obama, like, and he never met him before, to be like, look, we have to lift this line from your speech because John Kerry wants it, and Obama snapped and screamed at him. He had to be like taken out of the room.
Dude, need some pussy, you know.
gotta have them ribs.
That's like the fun. Like I feel like, again, this is why like a lot of people feel nostalgia for like the Obama years, is that they're like, he was so cool and chill and hip, and we hadn't had a president like that since the Kennedys. And I'm like,
when he dropped that bomb on the school bus, he was so cool and hip.
That's the thing. I'm like people, like so many liberals, regardless of the color, like, I want to go back to, I'm like, you guys want to go back to not caring about shit. That's what it comes down to.
Yo, are you excited to have Josh Olson back on, by the way?
Yeah, he's always ripping at the same people, like all these other like Twitter people. He's always ripping them as well. I'm like, yeah, let's go, buddy. Back. Anyway.
I can't believe him and Dave Anthony had that whole podcast where they went through every episode of The West Wing. Like, I feel like I would blow my brains out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
that's why whenever I get my new PC or whatever, we're gonna start Dark Shadows from the very beginning, even before Barnabas.
Yeah, but that's a show you like. I'm talking about they did an entire podcast on the show
they don't like.
Yeah. Watching every episode of The West Wing, like, that's insane. Like, I don't know. Just as a leftist, I feel like, because every Aaron Sorkin movie I've seen like episodes.
It's
of The
so
West
like
Wing,
geared towards like liberals who feel like, yeah, I care enough about these very, very important issues, and it's like, you don't care enough though. Like Aaron Sorkin's whole like content is like, yeah, America is not what it used to be. It's not like all those like monologues that went viral. Like like, you know, like Martin Sheen's character, like in The West Wing, telling that like religious lady off, and I'm like, oh my god, when I was like 18 and a liberal in 2012, this shit made me feel good.
Well, and they had like, I don't know, it's like, I feel like everybody in politics, in liberal politics, watched The West Wing, and they just like assumed that that's how it is, and so they just started acting like that. Like it's the kind of, I guess, like media destiny kind of thing, where you're like whatever you see on the media, that's your destiny. That's how you're destined to act, kind of like I don't know. But it's I remember watching Trial of the Chicago 7, the Aaron Sorkin version of it. And it's like
Sacha Baron Cohen, right? Was Abby Hoffman.
Yeah. But like that version of it. And what's his name? Like I forget. I always forget the guy's name, but the guy that was trans in that one movie we hated.
Oh, what, Eddie Redmayne?
Yeah, he was Tom Hayden.
Oh.
There's like, I don't know, they had the two camps, right, that each side of the Chicago 7 were in, because the whole movie is obviously like very dialogue heavy, and it's like the two camps of pretty much seemed like it's like the more radical, and then like, you know, you got like the more like, but they're most cool. Radical. It's just what Aaron Sorkin's mind could really comprehend as radical, right? So like the radical version of it, I can't wait to see him do a movie about the Black Panthers. It's, well, I mean, Bobby Seale's in it, like, as one of the characters, but it's like Aaron Sorkin's mind could kind of comprehend basically like shirt button kind of like more like serious minded progressivism, or on the other side like a more like media spectacle-y kind of thing. And it's like, that's not really what their two camps were really representing whatsoever. Like, it's a lot more complicated than that. But Aaron Sorkin's mind couldn't really comprehend that.
It's like sometimes a lot of people think like roots, again, like it's the first time, slavery was portrayed was roots, but then also it kind of led to like the only stories we could tell about black people is black trauma. And it got to a point where a lot of people were like, how many films and miniseries about slavery do we need? And now we're getting to the point where it's like, oh my God, we can watch stuff about like black joy, black art, nothing too serious. And I feel like then there's also the flip side, like all the crap that Tyler Perry produces or whatever. But like I understand, like it gets to the point where it's like, I wouldn't mind an actual serious, like, about something about like the Black Panthers, because a lot of people still to this day have this misconception of them being like these radical terrorists who I'm like, if another demographic of people needed help, like people who were disabled, Black Panthers would always show up. If women's activist groups, Black Panthers would show up. They were always there to help other movements in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
But they had guns, so that was bad, apparently.
I don't even know how you could create like an actual like good movie,
because there's so many personalities, some who became sellouts, some who you know what I'm saying, like
I don't know, there's a lot of I was thinking a lot about like Eldridge Cleaver, and it's like Eldridge Cleaver,
Jim Jones wanted to be like him, and I'm like, you done fucked up though with all them drugs.
But Eldridge Cleaver's original thing before, when he wrote like his original book from prison, right? Like before he was before Soul on Ice, he wrote the book Soul on Ice, and in it he like, because he's in prison for rape, and it's like he admits that like, oh, his version of like a tiny version of like a I don't know, like before he had an idea of radical politics, he's like, oh, I was rebelling against the system pretty much by like raping a white woman, and it's like that's what my mind thought, like these small kinds of kind of things. It is like, all right, well, you've already admitted that. Like, I would already not put you in charge of any kind of fucking radical movement. And he said, like, in order to practice on raping a white woman, he like raped several black women in the process. And it's like, you're a fucking horrible person.
Yeah.
That was before his like, that was as he was being led into the Black Panther Party. And then obviously he kind of like he was taken to fucking he had to go abroad pretty much because the cops are hunting him after Bobby Hutton got shot a bunch of times, and he was coming out of the thing, and he took off for Algeria, and he had to live in Algeria for like a certain period of time, and then he came back and he was a crack smoking Mormon after that, and he was like a big Reagan supporter, and he kept running for mayor of like Berkeley, and they were like, no, we're not voting for you for mayor of Berkeley.
Yeah, and that was also kind of the reason why Jim Jones did Jonestown, because serious allegations were coming. He was hoping that he would get away, and I'm like, dude, but you also got to make like the change too. You were still doing like the same shit you were doing when you were in the U.S.
I mean, Jonestown's kind of, well, more than anyone, but it's kind of an insane story just because of the amount of political like influence they were allowed to wield.
Yeah, and also ignore. I mean, that's why I always say Congressman Leo Ryan, like, he died, actually doing like what politicians should be doing, hands-on investigation, into like things.
The congressman that actually went down to
Chris what's his name?
Yeah,
I know
that kind of reminded me of that, because he was actually willing to go to like
didn't die.
El Salvador, and but I mean, El Salvador is a little bit different because they require U.S. back. Like El Salvador would be nothing without U.S. backing. You'd be nothing without us. It's crazy that
Israel would be nothing without us either.
It's crazy that Bukele is like Palestinian.
Yeah,
but Bukele's a Palestinian Christian, but his dad converted to Islam in El Salvador and bought 4 mosques. He was like a businessman that bought 4 mosques.
Oh my God. What's funny too is one of Congressman Leo Ryan's daughters joined that one like Hindu or what cult where the guy tried to do like a bioterrorism and poison like a whole town to poison like that one politician like Arizona or something like that. Like, I'm like, your father died because of a cult, and you joined a cult that tried to do.
Were they related to like the Hare Krishnas?
No, it was like, I forgot what it was called.
Because they're like, they're still like the #1 kind of Hindu.
It's some guy. I mean, if they did like they tried like what they did was they poisoned, like they had like salmonella or something.
I know what you're talking about.
His daughter joined that cult after he died.
His name's, like Ojo or something. Wasn't that what the name he gave himself or something? I know what you're talking about. They have a whole documentary about it. Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
That's the guy. That's the guy that He has the famous meme. Everything just turns like it's kind of horrifying shit. Just turns into a meme.
Yeah.
And they have the meme where he's like democracy. Oh, Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
That guy. He
Yeah,
looks like
that guy.
I cannot believe that they covered the Heaven's Gate thing on I Love the 90s, but did not even bother talking about Jonestown in any of the I Love the 70s spinoffs, maybe because it was just too depressing. But like you can make fun of Heaven's Gate because it's like, really? You thought a Haley comment with that, huh? But with Jonestown, there's really no jokes to really make. It was just one maniac who just murdered over 900 people. And you can hear it too if you want to listen and ruin your day, your week, your month, your life, even.
Well, Heaven's Gate's the one that they were taking them up to
the Hale comet thing. They thought they were going to go to space and come back or whatever, and it's like
yeah, they turned that one the one guy that you're talking about and I forget what his name is. They turned him into Osho. That's what I was trying to say. Osho is the guy that you're talking about, where they were all this like Hindu kind of cult. I forget what the name of their group is. Ranjish. It's like
Ranjish.
They poisoned the water supply in a town to try to get it so that their candidate would win the election in Arizona. But they have that famous meme where he's like, but the people are retarded, and that's like the one thing that he's remembered for, because he's like there's like one clip into a meme when he had these like long hour long lectures, and it's like the one thing people remember about him is saying that.
Yeah.
But you want to call it here?
Yeah.
Well, this has been Absurdity Space, back after 1 month of not having fun, not streaming. Follow us on YouTube, but also follow Movie Night Extravaganza, where on Monday at 8 o'clock we're going to be talking about Vertigo with Eileen Jones. We're all going
to make sure we have Vertigo by the time the show starts too.
Yeah, we're all gonna like Liza Minnelli in the Arrested Development.
Yeah.
But also after that we have Josh Olson coming on, and then we have Adam McKay coming on. He confirmed today, and we picked a movie today. So we're gonna have a crazy month over at Movie Night Extravaganza. So follow us along there. Follow us on here. Follow this space if you're watching on the Absurdity Space channel. We could do this without you. We couldn't keep this streaming up, so thanks so much. We'll see you next week at this time.
Bye.